Good afternoon. This is Bill Gross, and you are on now. Your database is your business, and this is the third part of the series. So who here on the call today has been on either part one and or part two? Say aye.
Aye.
Great. So just a reminder, this is being recorded, and your continuing is a consent for me to use this for commercial purposes. I don't really have any plans to sell it right now. I'm posting it for free, but I might, so just so you know that. And so if you don't want to be recorded or share information, then keep it private. So the goal of this program is to have you realize how much money is slipping through your fingers.
Yes.
That you finally get committed to running your business as a business. So the goal of the first program is to put you in a lot of pain, to go through and quantify how much you're losing. Anybody remember, or anybody do the homework from the first part as to how much per person, per contact you're losing that's costing you? Anybody remember that number? No? So just a quick review. We qualify the problem. The sales funnel is leaking business for you. Literally, money is pouring out of your business. That's the graphic I chose. So we calculate that for the average real estate agent, they close one transaction for every 10 people in their database that they know and like, people you've already met. And so that means for each 10, you're losing one transaction, average commission of $10,000. That means each one is costing you how much? $1,000. So is that good news or bad news?
Bad.
Well, good. It's bad news that you're losing the money. It's good news that you know about it. So now what can you do? You can put some holes, you plug some of those holes, right?
Half full, half empty. Yes.
Good. So part one was identify. Part two was to start plugging the holes, gathering your data. So I asked you data part two to schedule 1 hour to start the process of recapturing your database. Anybody here spend 1 hour on getting their database put together? Say aye if you did.
Aye.
Aye.
Great. So share with me, how many contacts were you able to capture and put in your system?
I haven't finished.
Haven't finished. How many so far?
About the ones that I didn't have.
How many contacts had you not had in your database?
About 25.
So you found 25 contacts that you were missing.
Yes.
So at $1,000 a piece, how much could that be worth per year?
Horrible. A lot of money. 25,000?
Maybe you found $25,000 a year. That's the good news, right?
Yes.
Who else spent some time looking for contacts and finding contacts in the last week? Say aye.
Aye.
Cheryl, good. So Cheryl, how many contacts did you find?
Well, it's interesting. I was cleaning up my email account, so I decided to actually start at the end, which goes all the way back to 2011, and I just started reviewing emails about transactions that were closed, buyers and sellers and stuff like that, and I just started sort of moving that stuff over into my contacts and cleaning them up and figuring, okay, so what did they do and when did they do it, and do they need to be refinanced because I could do that, or, I mean, maybe they need to sell. They'll make money on the property they have and they need to upgrade. So kind of doing that and moving it over. So there was at least 10 good contacts. I haven't reached out to them yet because I need to finish adding them all into Top Producer with notes. So, but I will soon.
So how many contacts do you think you put together back in your database?
Definitely, for sure, there's at least 6 viable contacts, for sure.
Wow. So 6 contacts, if the average commission check is $10,000, then you found how much money did you find in that time period?
I found $60,000.
Well, $6,000 is the contacts. It could be, right, because 10 is one transaction. But you found $6,000. And how long did that take?
It was about I want to say about 45 minutes or something like that. It was faster than what I thought it would be, and that's even not, like I said, these emails go way, way back, so that's just like like the bottom of the cake and not the top of the frosting.
Okay, but $6,000 for 45 minutes or maybe an hour's worth of work is pretty good money, isn't it?
It is. It is. It felt good to go, hey, I forgot about that person, because,
Right.
when you've been doing it for so long, and, databases weren't the same thing as what they are now. People are more
Exactly.
conscious of that stuff.
Exactly. Exactly. I just myself, I'm working on my own database. I'm still finding some, as you go through each time, you find new people. I had one customer who mentioned an old contact. I called that old contact, and now he's a big wig at another company. And those are fun phone calls to make, aren't they? Some of them.
Yeah, well, there was a short sale that we had in a building in Hollywood, and I reached out to the woman who bought it, and in that time frame she got married, and she actually sold her other unit in the same building, which, had I reached out to her sooner, that could have been a sale perhaps we would have had, which was the sad part. But on the upside, we did reconnect, and I was very happy about that.
Good, good. So $6,000 an hour sounds about right. And so each of you have the chance. And now, real quick, who here has been in the real estate industry for more than 5 years? Say I.
Hi.
Yeah, especially for us, we have a lot of contacts we've talked to. So if you can add $6 an hour at $6,000, that's productive work. So going forward, anybody you meet that has interest in real estate, they own a house, they want to own a house, they own a building, put them in your system. Don't lose them.
Yeah.
And after getting the phone number and email, ask if you can friend them on Facebook. I think those are becoming more and more important in the long run.
Yeah.
Okay. So today we're going to talk about the primary methods to contact people, meaning I'm going to assume at some level you've created a database, though you'll continue to improve it, that you're gathering and finding old names, and we'll talk about some of those methods. Now, what do you do with the numbers and names that you have? And I think that you'll find the more activity you have, the more names you'll discover. So we have 5 primary methods to contact them: the phone, email, mail, snail mail, door knocking, or advertising. So let's talk about them. First, we're going to talk about phone calling. So there's some basic scripts. Mike Ferry has a script for calling past clients. There's another approach which is value added. In fact, even the Mike Ferry coaches recommend that rather than just call and say, call my past clients, you might call with some market information. Be of value to them. Hey, just want to let you know the market's red hot. I don't know if you know this, but our prices are back to the 2007, 2006 caps or peaks. Did you know that was going on? Well, I know the market's hot. No, is that good? Exactly. So call them with good information, or find an article that you like in the newspaper or online and share that with them. You see the article in the New York Times about this aspect of the market, the new development down in Playa Vista, the new this going on there. So a couple things when you make these phone calls, you want to be high energy. And when I say you want to be the gift, meaning who here in this phone call loves getting telemarketer phone calls, say I.
Nobody wants
No,
them,
nobody.
ultimately, but sometimes we're helpful.
No, okay. But who would like a phone call from someone with a lot of energy that's excited and has good information to share? Who'd like that phone call once in a while?
Me.
Well, would.
Yeah, that's
So,
more well received.
right. So be that person. Be a gift in people's lives. Now, I have a theory. Most people, in my experience, live quiet, lonely, desperate lives. Most people. Not me. Not me. I'm happy. I have good relationships. I have a great job. I have a great business. I have a great life. I feel that most people are desperate for more human interaction, more people caring about them. Anybody else agree with that?
I agree with that totally.
Yeah. So
I think some of the best clients that I get are more older people who are going through another life process. Either a spouse has passed away, or they have to sell their home because they can't care for it anymore.
Yeah.
And the more you talk to them and you understand the situation and empathize with them, and okay, well, let's sell your house, so that
Exactly.
you get to the care facility
Exactly.
who you can have relevant conversations with,
Exactly.
and so on and so forth.
Well,
Exactly. There are people who can't wait to be on the phone with you. Be that.
Yeah.
Hold yourself at standard.
Yeah.
Also, don't feel guilty you can call them for a year, 5 years, 10 years. They didn't expect you to call back every 60 days. See, we know we're supposed to call them back. We knew we didn't, so we feel guilty.
Yeah.
But they didn't expect it. They'll be glad to hear from you. So don't feel guilty. Don't
Well,
apologize.
that's good that you said that, because sometimes that is a fear of mine. I feel like, oh my God, I haven't reached out to this
Right.
person in such a long time. It's
Right.
such a schmuck, you know?
Right. Right. Don't feel guilty. They didn't expect you to call. The other agents aren't calling them. And don't apologize. You didn't promise them you're going to call them forever. I would never make that promise.
No.
I'm not here to apologize. And they said, gee, where have you been?
Ultimately, the goal is to sort of have that touch that you're always sort of reaching out at a certain time. And even if you've gone a little while, you should then say, oh yeah, I haven't called him. I need to call him.
Exactly.
So,
And then lastly, I would say be of service. Be their real estate resource. The purpose of the call is to help them. If they don't want the help, fine. But there are people who have questions. They have questions about their taxes. They have questions about forms. They're looking for comps to do a tax reassessment. They need a good insurance agent. They need a good tree trimmer guy. They need a mold inspection guy. Be of service. Fine. And if you don't know the answer, find the answer if it relates to real estate. I have met, I had one past client who's a very powerful attorney. His son's looking for a job. I met with his son. I made some phone calls. I got his resume. Did what I could to try to set up an interview. Gave him some advice, some career advice. So be a service. Be their real estate resource. And then the last thing I would say is accumulate your list of real estate resources. You should have a list, I believe, of the best sources of service in real estate. I met today with an attorney who does probates. I didn't really know that he did them. I knew he did other type of work. But you would constantly be finding good people. So when customers ask you for help, that you're able to do that. And then you would have links to good resources. Keep a folder in your computer with best material. Don't post on the internet for them. When you talk to them, you can give them that information. That makes sense?
yeah.
Now, I want you to create, each of you, if you have a database, I don't care what program you use. If you use a Rolodex or you use note cards or you put it in Top Producer or Google Contact, doesn't really matter. You have to have 3 lists. You can have every other category you want, but everybody should be in one of these 3 categories, your A, your B, and your C. Your A list are people that are friends that you would invite to lunch that you could call every 3 days. These are like your best friends. These are people who would love to hear from you once a month. There are people in my life who don't want to hear from me. I don't call them. And there are other people who, every time I call them, it's like, I have a dog. My wife and daughter have a dog. When I walk in the house every single day, it's like, it's like New Year's Eve for the dog. The dog jumps up and down. The dog licks me. Can't wait to see me. Right? Do other people have dogs besides me?
yes.
I have some customers who are like that with me too. Not all of them. Not all of them. But some people just, Bill, great to hear from you. What's going on? What's happening in real estate? And they'd love me to take them to lunch. They would love to. That's your A list. Now, if you have a few people, these are people who could refer you a deal a month. Like, if they hear somebody selling their house, they say, you've got to call Bill. I'm talking about the kind of person who they're at the car wash. The person says the thing of selling the house. They grab their phone and say, Bill, I'm here at the car wash with Joe. He's thinking of selling his house. Here, let me put him on the line for you. Like that kind of person. You know what I'm talking about, right? Now, we don't have many of those. Maybe we have one. Maybe we have a handful. But that's the goal, to have 5 or 10 of those. Would anybody like 5 or 10 people like that? Yeah? Okay, well, a lot of people are mute because you're driving stuff. So that's the A list. B list is anybody else. And your C list is you don't really know them. You gather the data, but you can't remember where you got them from. Maybe, you don't know. Maybe you met them at open house 5 years ago. You never got in touch with them again. You don't really know who they are. It's better than cold data. It's already loaded in your computer, but you don't want to talk to them much more than every 90 days. So that's your 3 list. Everybody should be in one of those 3 categories. You can also have them in multiple categories, meaning they might be an A list and a FISBO, or an A list and an expired, or an A list and past client, but everybody should be in either A, B, or C category of activity. Questions on that so far?
No, that makes perfect sense. There's
Okay.
some people that you just have to treat differently from others.
Well, you have to grade them all based on how you're going to treat them. They all are either going to get called every 30 days, every 60 days, or they're cold calls every 90 days. Now, once you get past a couple hundred, you can also have a D, let's say, that you call every 6 months. You also may have a list, a do not call list, people you're never going to call, right? The agent, the seller that sued you. But basically, you have to have those lists. Everybody's an A or B or C. Once you get past 200, maybe you have a D. Okay.
Yeah, I think in the database that I have over 300 contacts. So there's some of them, after so much time, I just make them inactive.
Well,
and then every once in a while I'll email out because a lot of their phone numbers are changed or not correct.
So I'd make them all C's, and then you can cold call them to try to elevate them to see if they're a B or an A. And if you email to the C's, you can see which ones are opening emails and call those.
Yeah.
So what you do is I want you to print 2 lists when you're calling of each group. When you call your A's or your B's or your C's, you want to sort them as follows. Some have emails, some don't. That way, you call all at one time your A, your B, or C that have emails. And then you call all your A's, B's, and C's that don't have emails. So at the end of the call, you're going to say to them, hey, Patty, I email out real estate-related information from time to time. Would you like me to add you to my list? And they'll either say what or what. They'll either say yes or no, correct?
Yeah.
And either one's okay. If it's a yes, what's your best email address? Who's all have several. Ask them what's their best email address. They say, okay, great. Make it okay. Thank them for the call and move on. But you want to be accumulating email addresses as you go through the list. And the calling rules are no more than 3 rings, and that they'll pick up, leave a message. I used to say try them 3 times, but the reality is now with caller ID, most people see if you're calling cell phones, they know it's you, leave a message, and move on. Okay? Maybe you want to try it twice if it's an A, you might try 3 times. But you certainly don't want to call a C, a cold call, 3 times through before leaving messages. Just call, leave a message, try to regenerate the business, okay? Any questions on how to make the phone calls?
No.
No.
Okay. Any questions on the strategies?
No, I mean, I have a bunch of Tom Ferry scripts from the classes that I've taken from them, and those are very, very useful for expireds and cold calling in general.
Okay. But keep it simple. The goal here is we're looking to create a relationship with people, so we don't overcomplicate the process. Call them all, okay? So next is emailing people. How do we email out? So what I recommend, I've got some background noise. Hold on a second. So I recommend that you email to everybody, meaning
Weekly.
I know weekly. It's W-E-E-K weekly, not W-E-A-K-L-Y weekly. I know that a lot of companies and coaches recommend segmenting, and I think what happens for real estate agents is it gets overcomplicated. Get to where you email everybody something before you start segmenting. Buyers, sellers, FISBOs, expireds. Ideally, you have a separate campaign for each of those. Maybe you have a campaign for people, like I went to USC, maybe you have a campaign for people USC, maybe a campaign for people who are dog owners if you're a dog person. But at a minimum, everybody should get something from you related to real estate every week. People who like it will unsubscribe, and you'll be surprised. If you do it, 20% or more will open it weekly. Anybody besides me email your database weekly?
Yes, I actually email out like pretty much daily just because I go through at least 30 contacts a day. So I may not hit every one of those people weekly, some may get weekly depending upon where they are in the hot list.
Okay, but let's see. I see a question. Patty Billings, how do you unmute? Well, you muted yourself on your phone. You didn't. I'm not showing that you're muted on this program, so I can't help you with that, Patty. You have to try to check your phone. I think you hit your own mute there because I don't have you muted. So yeah, well, I would say email everybody once a week to keep it simple. Everybody.
Okay.
I've done that. For the last 5 years as a manager for a company, I wasn't doing personal production. I had a database of 600 people when I left production becoming a manager, and I got 2 or 3 referral checks a year. And I wasn't calling anybody. I just emailed them. And now that I'm out of management back into production, coaching, I still have a database of 600 people. 20% open it every week. That's 120 people. I've already got business leads, stuff, listings going on as a result of that. So I would say it's an easy, fast way to do it. Schedule a time to do it every week or hire somebody. In my calendar, every Sunday, 7 to 9, and if I'm not going to do a Sunday, I reschedule it. It's an appointment for myself. I write out the email for the week and get it scheduled and ready to go. If you can't do that, hire somebody to do it for you. The content.
So the content that you put into it is something useful for them. Hey, hello, it's me. Here's something useful you may not have known. Yes?
Correct. And now I email it to everybody on this list every week. You got added in that list. I post it on my coaching page every week as well, so you can see it. Literally, you can copy and paste what I send out and send it to your clients.
Okay.
The content should be real estate related. 2 exceptions are a reconnect email and the magic seller lead generation email. The reconnect email is an email that says something to the effect, we send this to people who aren't opening emails. I notice you haven't been opening the emails I've sent out to you, but you're not unsubscribed. If you'd like to unsubscribe, click here. If you'd like to continue getting emails, let me know. How can I help you? You reply to this email, send me a message or call me. I'd love to see how I can be of service. Some people will unsubscribe, which is fine. Other people will say, hey, I love your emails. Like, I don't open all the time, but I want to see on your list. And the magic seller lead is once a year, you send something out about the market. It's either hot or cold, great time to sell. Put some market stats in it, and I have those on my blog post in detail. A couple quick notes on the services. If you use your actual email, like Gmail, or AOL email program, or Outlook, put the addresses in the BCC category, never in the to category. Don't send an email to all your past clients in the to address box. Then they'll all see each other's emails. Put it in the BCC box.
Yeah.
Your email address should be one that brands you, like your name at yourname.com, not your Yahoo address or AOL address. I love MailChimp. It's free up to 2,000 emails a month. It has great report. You can open up and see who's opening your emails. And then you should schedule time quarterly to see which email address is bounced so you can contact them and get their new email. You'll find they changed jobs. I just talked to a great customer of mine who changed jobs. He's got a great job now, which can refer me more business. And you can see who's opening and not opening and call and see if they want to engage with you at some level. Make sure you call the people who open your emails. In my database, I have the people whose phone numbers I have and who are opening my emails, 120 of those. Those are the ones that I actually call. Questions on email systems?
No, I do like MailChimp too. It's like one of my favorite because it's easy to use.
Great. Anybody else have questions on email?
No.
Okay, good. Moving forward, mail or snail mail. So I tell agents who are new to this process, only after you've called them all, while you've been emailing weekly, start mailing. It's a very short. I'm going to mute you guys some background noise. The reason I say that is, if you call them all and you email them weekly, it takes you 30 days, you'll get a deal or two. Then you can take some of that money to pay for the mailing. But I don't want you to mail to people that you're not calling and emailing. In general, I would not mail anything to somebody whose name and phone number and email I don't have. It's a waste of money. Unless you have a
Really.
really big budget. Okay? The content I would send them is market data. Market stats. How many home markets up or down in LA County, City of Los Angeles, or in Irvine? MLS stats. Another great one is, would you like a free value of your property? There's a Corfact has an email and has a postcard where the customer either gets a Q card or goes to a website that's custom, and they log in, they get an evaluation, they get an update every month, and you get an email. Cheryl, I'm gonna have to. You guys background. I'm gonna have to put you on mute there for a second. You get an email saying that they've gone through the system and asked for a home valuation. Who would like some of those? Yeah. So I would mail postcards because they're easy and inexpensive, and you can either use a service or an assistant. Because if you do them yourself, it's $10 an hour.
Mm-hmm.
That means you're only earning $10 an hour.
Yeah.
Another idea would be, once you've done that, once you've called everybody that you do have, once you've emailed everybody you do have, you might send postcards to those people you're missing a phone number for, with a special postcard saying, hey, I've lost touch. I have a special raffle, for an iPad mini. If you text to this number, or I have a donation, a donation. If everybody who calls in, I'm going to donate $5 to your favorite charity. Find some way to get them to reconnect with you. So you can email them if you're missing their phone number, have them text you with their phone number, or you can have them email you. Questions on mailing? Any questions?
Would you have an idea of what would be better, a raffle, a prize,
I'd say it depends on you and your customer base. I would say if you want to do a raffle, depends on, and also how many people you're talking to. If you're mailing it to 10, 20 people, it can't be very expensive. If you have 200 people you're missing phone numbers of, I'm sorry.
You're saying not to mail to anyone you haven't contacted by email or talked to on the phone.
Correct.
And I not every day, but I go and door knock.
Great.
And I have met people that way, and I do mailings to the same area I go and door knock.
Okay.
But I don't have their email or their phone number. To all of the people I have.
So how much are you spending mailing, and are you making enough money for your return of investment?
No.
Right, because you're mailing to strangers. See, if you door knock every day and you hit 100 doors, you talk to 25 people, every day there's 1 or 2 people who will give you their phone number and email out of 25, correct?
Mm-hmm.
That's who you mail to, that one person.
Mm.
See, I'd rather do business with people who like me than people who already told me they're not interested.
And sometimes when I door knock, people and people open the door, I have talked to people and I haven't asked them for their phone number and their email, and I have had that chance, but I haven't done it. Right. So when they talk to me, they tell me, hey, if I ever sell, I'm gonna call you. I have your calendar, and I get your your information, your mailings.
Great.
Every day.
Great. So, I often send out important real estate related information about the market. Would you like me to call you or email you if there's important changes in the market you should know about?
Yeah, I haven't asked that question.
Yeah, you have to.
But so I don't feel that is. You think it's a waste of money to be just mailing?
Yes.
Everybody.
Yes.
Okay.
It's expensive. You're not going to get a good return for investment. Most agents will go broke before they get a return for their money. I would rather get 1 or 2 new people a day that I know, give me their phone number and email, and mail to those people. Because in a year, that could be 100, 200 people.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Thank you.
Okay, next is door knocking. Now, some of you have great past clients you can't get their phone number, but you know where they live. Go and door knock them. That's on weekends or holiday time, or on the way home, or when you're in that area. Any listing you sold, the buyers of the house, go adopt them. Right after closing, go door knock it. Hi, I'm Bill Groh. I got to tell you, they think you pick them. Who here besides me has gone to their listing they sold and door knocked and met the buyers? Say aye. Anybody? Boy, great
I
feeling.
have mail.
No. I'm talking about door knocking. You met them face to face at the house. You guys all need to do that. You're like the hero to them. You are the senior agent in that relationship.
You're saying the listing that you sold, the buyer
Yes.
that lives in that house now?
Yes. That's your new customer.
I
Adopt
put
them
them
as
in my database and I send mailings to them.
go door knock them and meet them and get their phone number. Go meet them. And Chet, how's the house? Any questions? I know the area. That's why I sold it. You have any questions I can help you with? Great. Would you like me to keep in touch with you with real estate market information from time to time? Great. What's your best email address? What's your phone number? You probably have it in the course of the escrow. That's what I talked about last week. Okay, good. And then while you're there, find a couple active listings in the area and door knock around those. Of course. Questions on door knocking? That's just a natural. Adopt the past clients on your listing sold. Any missing past clients, go door knock those as well. Okay. Last is advertise. So a couple of tricks to get some people you've lost contact with them. Maybe they don't answer the phone. You email, don't respond to your email. So you can advertise on Facebook. You can advertise on Facebook to your email address. You can upload an ad and say, have them click on something like, call me for a free home evaluation, call me for important changes in the market in your area, and you can have Facebook only target the emails you give them. And if you target them, or target them with your Facebook posts, they're going to click, they might say something, you see their Facebook page, now you realize, oh, he works at Verizon in Encino, you find out where he is, you call him up, you re-engage that way. Re-engage people by coming at them from different angles. So you can either target them with an ad, email, or you can have a post and advertise your Facebook posts just to your email list. A little more advanced topic, definitely worth researching, getting into. Another one is a social media makeover. So some of you have customers who are looking for you. So if I wanted to find you, if I wanted to call you about my property, you sold me a house 5 years ago, how would I find you? Don't most people go on the internet now to find you rather than a phone book?
Mm-hmm.
So if I was to Google you, what shows up? What's it look like? How do people find you? So there's a lot of different strategies there. You want to use, if you have a big company website, you want to use their website profile page as much as possible. So
I just canceled my website.
If you work at Century 21, you want to use the Century 21 website, make sure your profile page is up to date. Rather than create a separate domain name, which I think is a waste, point everything to one spot, and that way it'll rise up higher in the Google rankings. Make sure your picture, your phone, your email, your background, and logo are correct on all your social media, Facebook, LinkedIn, Google+, YouTube, Twitter if you use it, Zillow and Trulia for sure, Realtor.com. If it's the same, then what happens is Google says, oh, that must be the right phone number and web page for Joe, because all of these web pages are pointing to the same spot. And that way when your customers go to Google and search you, you show up more prominently. It's a whole discussion, but make sure that your social media is easy to find for people looking for you. Questions on that? Okay. And the last thing is, while we've talked about a lot of things, how do you get this done? How do you get this work done? So You know, I tell people, I mentioned above, use your company's website, make sure everything's up to date. Schedule an hour a week. Schedule 2 half hours a week. I've covered a lot of to-dos in this talk today. You don't do it all right away. Break it into pieces. Just make progress on it every week. Make sure things up to date. You might consider finding a service to help you with this. There's social media services. There's Fiverr.com. There's I use elance.com to outsource things to people online do work for me. Kids, you know, great source for computer work and data work. There are companies that will do your social media for you that are real estate related. Viral Marketing does a great job if you want to do video marketing twice a month. They charge $500 a month and a $6,000 upfront fee. I'm sorry, $2,000 upfront fee and $500 a month. It's a great service, and they'll do all your social media for you. But all these things, you need to get somebody to help you if you can't do it on your own. Find somebody to be of assistance. Find an administrator to help you. So how do you get it done? Schedule an hour a week. Start with small steps. You'll be shocked what you can get done. Hire somebody part-time, an intern. Outsource it. A consultant. If I can help, this program's free right now. You can watch it for free. I'll post the video for you guys who are in attendance. I do small group coaching, 5 to 8 people at a time. We charge $395 a month for that. There's no contract. You're not committed to a year at that. And we'll walk you through the steps. I do one-on-one coaching. If you're interested, contact me and I'll walk you through that process. And I do consulting as well for companies. So if you're interested in any of those services, but get some help. If you can't do it on your own, whether it be me or somebody else, get some help in this area, okay? Okay, any feedback, you can email to Bill at billgross.coaching.com. And if you send in any feedback at all, I'll send you a link to the slides we just went over. And I will also link to you the video of the prior 2 calls. Okay? Well, what I would ask is, I also have another offer. I'm going to be posting this video on Facebook, and the first 8 people that comment, good or bad, I don't care, be honest, not like, but comment, I'll give you a free link to EverContact Plus, which is a service that will take your emails and go back a year and scrape out names, phone numbers, and addresses and put it into your contact if you use Google Mail or Outlook. So that will be on Facebook. Watch for that. First 8 people who comment on the video will get a link to the EverContact product. Okay, I know I covered a lot, and I speak quickly. Questions from what we covered here today?
No, thank you. Thank you for the information.
Thank you, Asila. Anybody else have any questions? Any questions today? No? I don't see any hands up. Any other questions that we covered today? No? So if you have any questions, please call me, email me, text me. I'm on Facebook. Love to help you. Again, if you send me any feedback at all, I'll send you a link to the slides and a link to the 2 videos. Thank you for being on the call today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bill.
Thank you.